Kermit is happening.
I saw.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that just so that you know to stop talking. Thanks. That's great. I'm kidding. We're live. So, hi everybody. Welcome. And yes, my microphone seems to be working. I'm seeing the levels raised, so that's good. Welcome everybody to another campaign. Hey, a new 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Off the presses.
campaign. Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. So, we're going to go around here and we'll have people introduce themselves one at a time. And we actually have our character names displayed. We don't have our actual names displayed on here. I'll leave it up to the players to determine if they want to reveal that kind of information. But otherwise, I'm going to start off with Kashcah.
Yes, hi. I don't have a character name because I'm DM.
She'll be running this, killing all of the players as you see. And moving straight down from Kashcah, we have Malvola.
And I completely draw a blank.
Fine, man.
This is the part where everybody has to remember what their character name is. It's a test.
Yeah, and apparently I'm doing fantastic at that. My character's name is Malvola. He is a dragonborn hexblade warlock. Still kind of working on the background, so I don't have much more detail than that to give right now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Not a problem.
Me too.
And then next to Malvola, we have Everin.
Hello, I am RhinoMan, or Killer Firefly, or whatever you want to call me. Hey, you works too. I'm playing Everin Phase, a half-elf bard, ex-urchin, ex-spy, ex-thief, basically. Where there's a lot of X involved with the character.
And then next to Everin, we have Coyra.
Yeah, that's me. Hi. I'm Shy, or as I'm gonna be playing in here as Coyra, I'm a half elf, if I remember it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be my first time trying this out. So it will be fun.
Mm-hmm. And then next to Coyra, we have Flynn.
I'm NobiGit for those on Discord and in chat usually. I'm playing Flynn Felder, a Ghostwoods halfling monk who is I guess technically at this point, former sailor.
Okay.
That's
okay. And then next to Flynn, we have Thorn.
Sorry, you cut out. Is that me?
Yes.
Yes. By process of elimination.
I suppose so. Hello. I'm usually hanging around the internet as Ghostwoods. My name's Tim. I'm playing Thorn, an elven smuggler turned ranger.
Okay. And I'm Vallen. I will be playing Palkas, a half-orc sorcerer, half-orc wild magic sorcerer. I will be the reason everybody dies.
Whenever he casts magic, I duck and cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my character, in a general sense, is an ex-con, but kind of has a bit of a Robin Hood complex. So, Kashcah, take it away.
Okay, well, the first thing we have to do is like a little bit of background setup. So one of the mechanics in this module, this adventure, is a dark secret. So the group has a dark secret that they share, and it is we're
Horrendous body.
all of them just really bad. Clear rooms, like, but we do need to kind of set up like how that's, the details of that. So we did go through them last week while we were doing some character creation, and now I've lost the thing. And we decided, I think, on a theft.
Yes.
Everybody's still happy with using theft?
Well,
I'm happy with the theft. It actually kind of ties in with all of our characters for the most part.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so then the first thing I'm going to do then is make a roll to see who they share with internet. See who in Baldur's Gate. There's another person in Baldur's Gate where the adventure starts who knows about this as well. And that NPC might use that information at some point during the adventure. So we're going to roll to see who that is. I know this name might not make a lot of sense to you at the moment, but as we kind of get started, it will. So let's roll to see who knows your secret.
Something that'll come up.
So Mortlock Van Thamper knows your secret.
Do we need to take that down, or
I'm going to put that in chat.
Thank
This
you.
person's name is Mortlock Van Thamper. Has anybody decided if their character has spent significant amount of time in Baldur's Gate, or is even from Baldur's Gate?
I did, if only because I was in prison most of the time.
I think I've decided that my character is the ex-urchin from Baldur's Gate. Grew up there as a poor kid.
Okay.
Not me so much. I was probably in and out of port.
Okay.
I didn't think this far ahead.
Alright.
Do you want to be a resident? Do you want to have come from another place?
Well, in my history, I think I'm an outcast, so I'll stick with that.
Okay.
New
So-
in town, eh?
There are like outer parts to the city as well, so you might have found your home in one of those chunks of the area recently. So maybe that would work.
Sure.
Okay. So those of you from Baldur's Gate or who've spent significant amount of time in Baldur's Gate would know this person, or at least the family name. And I'm just trying to find, because Baldur's Gate has this hierarchy set up where there are 4 patriarchs. So these are families who kind of govern Baldur's Gate. And I think these folks are one of those families. So you at least know that family name. You've heard it. They're obviously kind of very well to do. Okay. So now we know who knows about your theft. We need to outline the details of this. And this is another roll. We can tweak these, right, if we want to. But I do kind of like starting off with a bit of random, little bit of RGM going on.
That's what my character's based on.
Because I think otherwise we could kind of venture into something that's too convenient, if we're not careful. So let's...
I could also see the other side of it where this makes no sense for our characters.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas if we kind of tune it more toward, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, with Vallen's character, we've got to get used to random.
Okay.
Chaos.
So
This is chaos.
So this is the suggested details of the theft. I'm going to put in Roll20 chat there.
Ooh. What?
So this is the theft details.
And little...
These are the theft details even.
Do you mind if I read it out loud?
Please do.
All right. Forgive me, I'm just recently getting over a cold. Both the guild and little Callum Shans, right? Palkas wanted it. Such a little thing. A vial that could hold no more than a few perfume drops. It spoke to you, though. You could hear it in your mind. You knew it needed to be free, but now that it is, you can't bring yourself to open it.
So what do you guys think? Is that a theft that you can work with?
Sounds like one for me.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah, I
fine.
think that's right up Thorn's alley.
Sure.
Okay.
Easier to smuggle.
Okay, so now each player needs to roll a d6. Our first rolls in the event, well, kind of, to identify what your role was in the theft, right? And we can tweak these if they make no sense, but otherwise, we can kind of stick with them. Okay, so Nobby, your role was the lock picker.
If you hold on 1 second,
Oh,
Kashcah.
sorry, and crap, I really need to
For
start
those
using-
not familiar with Roll20, you can actually type /roll space 1d6, or you can hover over the little menu on the top left there and just click on the d6 icon. And it'll do
Yeah.
that.
As someone who has absolutely zero skill in picking locks, that probably wouldn't work for me.
Okay.
Unless I punch
We've
the
got-
lock.
We've got 2 people who are bait here so far.
So wait, hang on.
Found the icon.
We'll do 5s.
Well,
And you,
I'm the only one who rolled a 1.
we got
So
2 5s here. I'm looking for.
yep, so the
We also-
fives are lookouts.
2 lookouts. Oh dear.
4s are lock pickers. And then the 1 is considered a breaker. So whether it says force is your specialty, whether you're breaking through a wall or breaking bones.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. That reminds me of the Penny Arcade cartoon where it's like, it's crime time! Monaco.
My character is known to carry a maul, but I mean, if this is during the crime, I don't know that my character would have had the maul at the time,
Well, you rolled a 4, right?
which is lockpicker.
Which is lock picker.
Yeah, that works.
mean,
I
that's
use
a
the
lot of
maul to pick a
locks.
lock.
That's one way to pick a lock.
Yeah.
Of those of us who rolled 4s, do any of us have lock picking skill?
Good
Not
question.
a 1.
No, nuh-uh.
I think 2 of us actually do have lockpicking skills.
Why did you
now.
guys pick theft?
This is why we got caught. We just kind of went, what are you going to be on this
Guy
heist?
thing.
I'm going
Everyone
to pick
wants
locks.
to participate in a heist at some point in their life.
Fair enough.
I mean,
Like,
we
I think
didn't
it would
say
have
we're
been
good
fun
at
to
it.
actually, like, run this as an adventure, but it's kind of late.
I mean, planning a heist sounds like a thing we could do on the side.
Maybe the locks weren't mechanical. Maybe they were sorcerers or puzzles or.
That's a good point. They could have been
tiles
magical.
or Someone has to
It's
stand up
very
a
true.
spot or something.
Well, I think mine is more along the lines of can identify arcane, but if the lock doesn't get picked, use hammer. Therefore, I'm kind of the
You're not
bad guy.
using meat spells.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it though. I'll be picking up the knock spell later.
So okay, so do you want to switch around roles? Here, actually, here's what I'll do. Right, I will post this in here.
Okay.
I do think we need to pick roles. We don't have to use the, we don't have to use the dice to pick them, but we do need to kind of identify like who did what.
Oh wow!
Okay, that turned out kind of weird.
Wow. That is weird.
But you see, so 1 was the breaker, 2 is the burglar, 3 is the distraction, 4 is the lockpicker, 5 is the lookout, and 6 is the mole. I mean, there are 6 of you.
I already
Just
see
saying.
something that I should be right now, and that's probably the distraction. Because I feel that I was the one that got caught.
Okay.
Honestly, I think the lockpick works as it mentions that it's a puzzle to be mastered, and wisdom is my highest stat, so.
Okay, cool.
I might work better as the burglar, since that seems more of a sneaky.
Part of me thinks that that Everin would be the mole.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're the bard, right?
I'm the bard. I'm the
Yeah,
X,
then that
X-
kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like the X spy, X criminal, X everything. Charisma is my good stat.
Dex is my good stat, so
Okay, so we've got
You guys are my good stat.
Oh,
I'm completely happy with Breaker. That makes sense for the way that I see.
Okay, so we've got Palkas as distraction. Hey, could I ask you guys a favor when you have a second? Oh, you know what? No, I know where I can find these. Never mind. It's okay. So Everin is the mole. Flynn is the burglar. Palkas is the
sneaky.
distraction. Coyra, what were you? again?
lockpick.
Lockpicker. And Malvola and Thorn. What about you both?
I'll stay on lookout.
Lookout, okay.
And what was Malvola?
I was rolling with the Breaker.
Okay. You got all that?
I do. Give me 1 second, and I will paste it.
Okay, cool.
Palkas is the distraction. Okay. I'm very distracting. All right, copy.
Distracting even to yourself, right?
There we go.
Cool. Thank you. All right.
I'm getting like some kind of like Ocean's 11 thing. Where they're like,
Yeah, totally.
The distraction, you know.
Exactly.
I don't think we were quite as smooth though.
No,
All right.
I mean, we got caught.
So this is the
I got
last
caught.
roll.
I don't know about the rest.
Oh, okay. So this is the consequences of your theft, right? And then after this, we'll kind of get into the actual adventure for today. So the consequence of your theft is another group of thieves are now after you. Well, it's a single
boy.
group of thieves, so is after you.
Oh, they're the Ocean's 11 guys.
And they are trying to claim what you stole. So they're after your vial of tasty goodness.
So, given that we've stolen a vial, I think our other vial, wherever it is, Mr. Bounty Hunter, is probably going to come into play here at least once.
Was bounty hunter, now sailor, and don't. No, that's my good luck charm.
That's a really creepy switcheroo.
It's safely worn around my neck.
So what
That's
was
a really
it?
creepy good luck
We
charm, I'll
have
be
a-
absolutely honest. Mind you, I don't have much of a better one.
We have another group.
There's another group of thieves is now after you. They're after me? They're after you. This is very like Aladdin.
They're now after us because of this theft.
They became aware that you stole this thing, and
Okay.
they are now trying to claim it.
We're
This file. Maybe it's like, what was it? Felix?
Felix Filicus.
Yeah. Maybe that's what you got.
No,
Liquid luck.
I would suspect that my character motivations for joining in on this theft would be one, either it would destabilize some kind of crooked group, or it would help fund us or those that are currently trying to fight back against the rich hierarchy that are oppressing the lessers, or something along those lines. Is what my character would have obviously had a view on for this. Now, whether or not the rest of the group believes that, they probably don't, but you'd probably end up playing it up to my character if you didn't. So, just a
I'm a
suggestion.
smuggler. Show me the money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Excuse me.
All right. So you are all well. Anything else anybody want to kind of cover about their characters before we begin?
I got green hair.
Do you want? I mean, we kind of talked a little bit about what you like your class so far, class and race. Do you want to give a description of your characters?
Yeah, we haven't done character descriptions yet. I think that would be good.
Is
True.
is everybody okay with that, or do some people need more time?
Beva,
I'm good with that.
I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. Let's go around then and do a description.
All right.
Yeah, this would be really helpful for. Anyway, cool.
Let's do the reverse order from what we introduced with then. I will start with myself since I already started talking about it. Obviously, I'm a half-orc. I don't think I have the listed here. But pretty much I'm a guy or male, and I've got a green mohawk that is folded over on one side and a lot of scarring going down one side of the face, covering part of the shoulder and neck. Rather handsome for a half orc that is scarred. Maybe they're handsome scars. I don't know, but a lot of the charisma is more on the looks than it is the personality. Typically runs around bare-chested. Might have a like a strap or two of like a sack across the shoulder and like some pouches running across there. Wearing like some leather breeches and stuff with pockets and a big backpack. Carries around his magic staff, which is actually just a two-handed maul. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and for those who don't know, half orcs have gray skin, and he does have, the teeth that protrude from the bottom there. I guess that's about. Oh, green eyes as well. Green hair, green eyes. 6'2", muscular build. There you go. Done. Palkas. Thorn?
Thorn is a shaven-headed mooner with sort of black stubble and try and get a scar over his right eye, a burn scar that's still fairly livid and unpleasant looking. He's kind of down at heel for an elf. I mean, obviously still graceful, still elven, but a ratty sort of elf. He's fairly strong, fairly dexterous, about 5'11", and dresses in leather and silks, cloaks and stuff over the top of it, all in very dark shades of blue, purple, and grey.
Okay, Flynn?
As I said, I'm a halfling monk, basically very simply dressed. Former sailor, no, technically still sailor, I don't know. Loose-fitting clothes that are kind of torn. The shirt is kind of missing most of the sleeves, and the pants are kind of, or trousers, as Vallen would put it, are kind of torn around the bottom. Rope sandals on his feet, and like I hinted at, he's got a vial on a leather cord around his neck that has nail clippings in it. It's his good luck charm. Don't ask. You probably don't want to know. He's got a belaying pin tucked into one side of his belt and a dagger in the other. And I guess the only scars he has to go with the scarred theme is probably on his knuckles.
Okay. And Coyra?
Oh, he's only about 3 foot tall.
Right. That goes with the halfling. Coyra?
I'm Coyra, I'm a half elf. My class is druid and I'm an outlander. My age is around 36-ish. I have a pale brownish skin, my hair is teal, and I usually wear some kind of dress with high socks and stuff. Basically, and my favorite color is green, so I usually wear something that has green stuff with it, or try to have the color in it. It's also because it's my class. I like to show it off a bit. And my favorite trinket is my pipe that blows bubbles. Cannot forget about the pipe.
Don't forget your bubble pipe. Never forget the bubble pipe.
Indeed.
All right. And then Everin.
So Everin Phase is a half-elf bard. He's a bit suave and fair-skinned, like most elves. Slightly pointed ears, but only slightly. He usually wears clean black dressy style clothing, but in this case it's somewhat old, patched, and worn. Somewhat once was fancy clothing and has now been repaired many times. He has blue eyes, black hair, shortly cropped, very neatly clean. Got a numerous number of daggers and knives and weapons all over his body. You'll never know he's got them all until you actually try and disarm him. He's got a
Where
nice.
do they keep coming from?
Where do they keep coming from? Yeah, he's got a nice. He's got a mouse as a companion. Just kind of hangs around with him somewhere on his person.
Jelly of the
I think
mouse.
that's about all I can think of.
All right, and then Malvola.
Malvola is a dragonborn. Is blue dragon heritage, so I'm picturing vibrant scale hide. Not sure. Well, let me. His stuff that he carries is simple but well kept. Kind of like, his car's not brand new, but it's still in perfect condition, kind of. As far as equipment, is armor is chain, carries a flail. I'm not sure about other details like that. I haven't really got that hammered out.
No worries. It is early days.
Mm-hmm.
Kashcah, take it away.
Okay, one sec. I'm just uploading tokens frantically.
Oh, right, tokens. Yay!
So I'm just giving placeholder tokens for now. Just matching the colors that you guys are using in.
I just realized I'm pink.
There's also 3 greens or four
pink
greens,
time.
which is like no. Okay, so let me start. First, I'm
If you
gonna.
want, I can change color to make it easier.
Nope.
If you
It's
click
alright.
on the colored square.
Okay.
Because I already grabbed the tokens. Alright, first off, I'm gonna move you over to a map of Baldur's Gate. Boop. Let's do that first.
Okay, I need to zoom out now.
Okay.
Yes, same.
Let's hide the
Then
dark
I'm gonna
secret.
read you a bit of an intro to kind of set the mood.
I
So
love how when we discover that we can change our icons, me and Knight immediately turn our icons white.
Not supposed to tell her that.
Oh no. Okay. So everybody is in Baldur's Gate. And the mood in the city is kind of frantic at the moment, and we'll get into more of that, momentarily. But most everybody I think you're all aware that that there's 2 kinds of like law enforcement in the city. In the upper city, where all the kind of like people with money, people with like status, within kind of the city population, that's guarded by a group of a group called the Watch, right? And they are kind of they are as they sound, right? They're like town guardsmen, but they don't venture really outside of the upper city. They're there purely for kind of that upper crust area and population. So the rest of the city, the lower city, law enforcement in that area is taken on by a group called the Flaming Fist. And they are a mercenary army who are paid by the patriarchs of the city. So these are the governing families of the city. They're paid by the patriarchs of the city to protect their interests in Baldur's Gate. So not necessarily like the people of the lower city per se, but more like making sure that business is, still viable, like life can be conducted as usual, and everybody is still kind of doing their job basically.
We talking like shakedowns type?
Yeah, they're pretty they're not not the most like level-handed group of folks. You know, they're not yeah. So outside the city walls, in these areas of outer city, there really isn't much law enforcement going on there. So this is kind of areas where travelers like congregate and set up. It's there's no particular organization to it. It's very kind of like it's almost like refugee cities, you know. So those outer areas are pretty kind of like Wild Westy, you know. So let me read you, now I've kind of done that bit, let me read you the rest of the intro. So welcome to Baldur's Gate, a veritable nest of rats and vipers clinging to the rocky slopes overlooking the Kionthar River. From their high perches in the upper city, the local nobles, known as patriarchs, gaze down with veiled contempt upon the common rabble in the grimy lower city which hugs the foggy harbour. The whole of Baldur's Gate reeks of blood, crime, and opportunity. One can easily fathom why pirates and traders were drawn to this place like flies to a carcass. Following the river further east would lead you eventually to Elturel, the capital of the Holy Land of Elturgard, or at least that was the case until a few days ago. A flood of refugees from Elturel has gotten worse since news first arrived that the city has fallen. Everyone is saying that Baldur's Gate is next, but no one truly knows who or what claimed Elturel. The Patriarchs pay a mercenary army called the Flaming Fist to protect their interests in Baldur's Gate, and by extension the city itself. The Flaming Fist has gained even more power since their charismatic leader, Ulder Ravengard, claimed the title of Grand Duke a few years ago. But apparently Ravengard is missing now. In his absence, the Flaming Fist has sealed the city gates to staunch the flow of refugees. No one is allowed in and no one is allowed out. All of this was brought to your attention shortly after you were drafted by the Flaming Fist to help defend the city. Your orders are to speak to Captain Zodge at the Basilisk Gate, which pierces the city's eastern wall and takes its name from the various statues that rest in its niches and perch atop its battlements. Unseen beyond the sealed Basilisk Gate, a dirt road stretches through the outer city slums to the bridge known as Worm's Crossing, then to distant realms beyond. Dozens of Flaming Fist soldiers are trying to control a mob of angry commoners who are eager to leave the city. Armed with only a vague description of Captain Zodge, a tall man with long black hair and a leather eye patch, it takes you a while to find him. A fight breaks out between soldiers and commoners, and you finally spot the one-eyed captain as he wades into the fray and begins throwing punches. Just another day in the City of Blood. So this is where you find yourselves. It's going to be kind of up to you and your backstories whether you know each other, but you have all been drafted. The Flaming Fist have gained, a considerable amount of power since their leader has been Grand Duke for a few years. And they are, basically kind of going around the city, drafting people as they need to, especially adventurer-looking types, to help keep the gates sealed, basically, and keep this flood of refugees from overtaking the city.
So, like, both of these gates?
Sorry. All of the gates are sealed.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
And this is the upper crust area?
It is, yes.
Okay. And then that, of course, is probably...
That's a nice big wall.
And stuff, yeah.
Yep. Yep, so this is the gate where you've been told to go, over here,
Mm-hmm.
to find Captain Zodge.
Hmm.
And you do spy him, and
He's
yeah,
punching people right now.
yep, he's a fight broke out, and yep, he just immediately kind of no hesitation strides into the group, and you see him like punch a couple of commoners, just like just swing.
Sorry.
Happy to swing his fists, and whoever gets in the way, oh well.
So,
So,
are we all green flaming fist?
technically, we're
you've been-
draftees.
You've been
I guess.
drafted.
Okay, so we're like deputized temporarily.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm very American, but it's almost like the Flaming Fist have now become the National Guard and been deployed throughout the city, and they're just kind of, if they see somebody who they think will be useful to what they're doing, they're just drafting them. Yeah, you're coming with me.
So,
You're going to do this.
we're draftees now, apparently.
You are, yeah. And the mood within the city is fairly frantic, right? People, business is completely disrupted in a lot of ways, because the city is now sealed. So people want to be able to leave. You've heard people say that they want to go to Elturel because they had family there. They want to see what's going on. People want to come in because Elturel has suddenly, been taken. So there's been some kind of conflict or something going on there. So all these people who were residents of Elturel now want in, Baldur's Gate. So it's very chaotic. And the Flaming Fist are not exactly like on the up and up. So they're, people are very kind of fearful of them in a way. And they are kind of not pulling punches, I guess.
Well, so we've arrived at the gate, and you're saying that the person that we were described to go report to is in the middle of a mob at the moment. That's what you're saying.
Yep, a fight. As you were arriving at the gate, a fight broke out between this group of soldiers and this group of commoners. The commoners were trying to leave. The soldiers were not letting them, and tensions were incredibly high, and eventually somebody chucks something at one of the soldiers, and that's all that it takes for the whole situation to just collapse into this fight. And now they're fighting, and as you kind of take all this in, Captain Zodge, you see this guy who's been described to you, and there aren't a lot of eye patches around, so you're fairly sure it's him. So he's just kind of wades into the group and starts throwing punches, and it doesn't take long actually for the Flaming Fist soldiers to kind of quell this group of commoners, there's like you could imagine like a group, as a kind of family group, and a woman has ended up kind of on the ground, and they're trying to help her away, and there's other group of random people really, and they're just kind of like they're a bit battered and bruised now, because they've just been dealt with by the Flaming Fist.
So they're not fighting anymore, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, as you kind of stand there, Captain Zodge wades in, and if you continue to stand there, I guess this is what I'm saying.
Were we
I think
to
Everin
report
probably
to
would
him, or get him, or tell him something?
I think Everin would probably want to try and intervene. I'll pull out my pipe and try and get some attention with that.
Do we have anything that indicates that we're now part of the Flaming Fist or whatever?
Not yet. You've been told
Because
to.
I'm finding a safe place, kind of up and away from the action. I'm little. I'm going to get trampled.
yeah, you've been told to report to Captain Zodge, to receive kind of your orders.
I'll find some crates or something like that, scramble up there and sit on them and wait.
Okay.
So Everin will play a quick tune on his pipe very loudly to get people's attention and start trying to calm the crowd down.
Okay. How
Both sides.
about Thorn?
Thorn's just going to watch and nod appreciatively whenever a particular blow is landed.
Okay. And Malvola?
I'm kind of leaning against this crate that this halfling's crawling up on.
Okay. So most folks are kind of,
He's busy. I'm not going to interrupt.
Yeah.
Were we sent to deliver a message to him, or get him, or report to him?
You were told to go and speak to him. Like, your expectation is he's going to tell you what you're supposed to do.
The way I see it is if we don't have anything identifying us as conscripts, the odds are his fists are going to come our way, so just wait until...
That's very much what I was thinking, is
Yeah.
I don't want to approach someone who's already throwing punches if I don't have to.
So,
Yeah, we weren't told to interfere. We were told to go talk to him, right?
Well, I mean, Everin is trying to be the center of attention here, so I'm pretty sure everybody else is trying to vacate the area.
So what pipes are you playing, Everin? Are you busting out the bagpipes? Are you like...
No, I don't have bagpipes.
Okay.
No, it's just a standard
not?
pipe. I mean, I
Okay.
could have taken it, but I only get one instrument now, so I'm taking up my panpipes.
Okay. So
We're all grateful that it wasn't bagpipes.
So I'm taking out my panpipes. I've played, let's say I've played the proto all of a sudden.
Okay. So, you see Captain Zodge kind of like looks at you like does not understand like why there's suddenly music. Like, is it like, what kind of music are you playing? Is it like like inspirational kind of like? Yes.
No, just something that will get attention.
Okay. So it's kind of a.
It's one of those "Hey, look at me" too.
Okay. So it's kind of short and loud and. Okay. Yeah, so he's kind of like looking at you like as he's like, oh, like punching a guy, like, and he's like looking at you like.
Oh yes, well I have to make a performance check with that.
Sure.
Let's see here.
See if he's particularly
Palkas is just
inspired by
standing there with Maul in front, just staying out of any trouble and waiting.
Okay.
I seem to have
Yeah,
rolled
we gotta find out if he's calming things or destroying everybody's ear.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
it wasn't supposed to be like particularly skilled. I was trying to get everybody's attention, just kind of stop the fighting, you know?
Yep. So yeah, the look on Captain Zodge's face is one of surprise and discomfort. So he's not like, particularly appreciative of your pipe playing. So yeah, he finishes kind of roughhousing, like, or manhandling this particular commoner, and they, the Flaming Fist guys, all kind of like manage to get them kind of back under control again, and yeah, they're helping. The commoners are helping each other up. The folks that took, the brunt of the damage there, and then Captain Zodge kind of like brushes himself off a little bit, like straightens his jacket and comes over to you, Everin, and says, "Can I help you?"
Yes, actually. My companions and I were told to report to you if you are, in fact, the captain here.
He says, "That I am." And he's kind of looking around like... I'm assuming like most people when Everin started playing kind of like spread out from the plane.
Left me to the spotlight, yes. I kind of make an offhand gesture to where most of my companions ended up.
Okay. So he says, the latest conscripts, huh? He says, "Well, I've got a job for you." He says, he's kind of looking you all up and down. "We'll see how you do." he says. Yeah, this is the refugee crisis. He kind of like gestures towards the gates and says, it's everybody in Baldur's Gate is afraid that we might suffer the same fate as Elturel. Says, which I've heard nothing but the remains there, but a hole in the ground. He says, and our Grand Duke Ravengard was visiting there as well. Doesn't seem like too big of a coincidence to me. I think that's a conspiracy right there. He says, yeah. He says, these Knights of Elturgard call themselves Hell Riders. He says, few of them escaped during the destruction, apparently. He says, they think we're somehow to blame for Elturel's downfall. He says, crazy. Bunch of self-righteous rabble-rousers. We're arresting them on sight, but that's left us short-handed to deal with other problem. He says, and that's why you're here. And he kind of like gives you like a bit of a pat kind of on the shoulder there, Everin. And he says, well, he says, you may already know, he says, but Baldur's Gate has long been played by followers of the Dead Three. He says, God's Bane, Bull, and Merkel. He says, those crazy cultists follow those. They think those gods are going to save their lives here. He says, more likely the opposite. He says, anyway, we thought we'd wipe them out, but apparently not. These purveyors of fear and death are taking advantage of the crisis, and they're committing murdering sprees throughout the city. He says, you could consider yourselves my appointed deputies in this matter. You'll have license to kill these wretches on sight, find their lair, wipe it out, and eliminate anyone who gets in your way. Don't worry about collateral damage. If you do what I say, he says, there's good purse in it for you as well. You'll each receive 200 gold, in addition to my gratitude, which is worth considerably more.
That's fair. And Everin's kind of giving offhand glances to our sorcerer here.
What is it that he's sending us to go and kill?
Cultists.
Just cultists.
Apparently cultists, yeah.
Oh, of a specific type?
Worshippers of the Dead 3.
Or just anybody that we deem a cultist.
I mean, I'm sure the guard probably wouldn't mind us just dealing with anyone who's actually a cultist.
Looks like a cultist to me.
So Palkas would speak up at this and say, what have the cultists done?
He says, you're not listening, half-orc. He says, I just explained that they've been on murdering sprees throughout the city. He says they think we're not able to handle this, but we can conscript whoever we like, so they're not going to get away with this for long.
Cultists are really dangerous.
So what you're saying is there are murderers about, and you want us to murder the murderers.
I only just met this man. I'd like to know if I feel that he's telling the truth, or if he's exaggerating this a lot.
Make an insight check.
Oh yes, that seems like something Everin would probably do. May I also make an insight check on that?
Sure.
How do I do that?
Thorn is completely convinced.
So on your character sheet, you have skills. I think they're on the left-hand side, and you can just click on the name of the skill to make the roll for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Everin's you're not too sure. He's kind of, you can't tell if it's bravado or if he's, telling you the truth. Palkas, on the other hand, thinks that he is telling you the truth.
All right. Then with that, Palkas will say, very well. I will do what you ask.
Poor Shy.
This is a cool looking rock.
Coyra, I think you might just be kind of shocked by the violence that was just in, the situation.
I am.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked. All I'm thinking is like, if he's telling the truth, how do we know who to look for?
Oh, well, he'll say,
He said that's what. Or sorry, that. Coyra was thinking that.
oh, okay.
Yes.
Sorry. But that is a question that would be asked by Palkas at the very least.
Okay.
How would we identify them?
He says, oh, well, I've got a contact for you there. He says, do you know the Elf Song Tavern?
I don't know, do I?
Everin kind of smiles and says, "Oh yes, I know the place."
Yeah, if anybody's spent any time in Baldur's Gate, then you would know of the Elf Song Tavern.
If it's close to the docks, I know about it.
He says it's just a few blocks from here, and he's kind of pointing. Let me see which direction he's pointing. He's kind of pointing like west. There's just a few blocks from here. He says there's a spy named Terina. She hangs out there, gathers rumors from the guild. She owes me a favor. So go there and tell her you work for me and ask her what she knows about the Dead Three. And for the love of Baldur, and be nice, she has dangerous friends.
What was Captain Zodge, right?
Captain Zodge.
Cool.
Can we have some sort of evidence that we're with you?
He says, well, I suppose. And he kind of shuffles around in his pack and hands out to you these copper badges. And they have the Flaming Fist coat of arms on. Well, I wonder if this has... maybe I can find this for you. But it has the Flaming Fist coat of arms on. It's made of copper. He says, I'll be expecting those back in order to receive your payment.
And
Fair enough.
He's got enough for all of us?
Yeah, he does.
I'm going to just add that to my inventory real quick here.
Me too.
I'm
mercenary.
Oh, I do. This is what it looks like, but copper badge. There you go.
Little this on a copper badge. Okay.
That on a copper badge. Yeah.
Dang.
Nice.
All right. So we are officially deputies of the Flaming Fist.
Whether we like it or not.
Whether we like it or not, I feel like pissing off Captain Zodge is a bad idea. So let's not.
So
At
he's
least right now it's really convenient.
Plus the badge probably pretty convenient in the city at the
he's pointed in this direction, by the way. Bing.
Where are we?
You are at the Basilisk Gate over here. Bing.
Okay.
Okay. So if there's nothing else, everyone is looking around. Maybe we should be on our way.
Let us go. Coyra, stay close to me. It's fine.
Okay, I will.
He just kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder and just kind of like helps guide you along, understanding that you're feeling very anxietous in this environment.
Thanks.
Look over at Malvola. So I guess we're going, huh?
Seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not lose our short friend here.
Is there a piece of rotten fruit anywhere around?
You might have such a thing in your pack just in case for such an occasion.
Palkas puts the
Well, I do have
badge
a blade pit,
on.
but I don't want to actually hurt him. Hop down off the crate and start following.
Okay. Alrighty. So Baldur's Gate itself is bustling. There's plenty of activity. Yeah, you do see like on your way kind of west, you do see some other patrols of Flaming Fist guards kind of wandering the street. And they're not a particularly nice group of people.
Oh yes, I tuck my badge inside my coat pocket. I don't want it to be immediately obvious that I'm walking around as a deputy.
Okay.
Which is funny because Palkas has it like right up front and center, right on the like the only strap across the chest.
I was about to say, it's like, aren't you usually bare chested? What are you clipping that to?
No, there's like a belt pouch strap and a sack strap. Always carries a sack of torches on one side if he can.
I mean,
While we're traveling, I'm
like-
gonna be going through my, like, trying to remember what I know about the Dead Three and what their followers might be doing. So I'm gonna roll a.
I think that sounds like a check. Well, I'm not used to the 5th edition's rules yet.
Okay. So the Dead Three. So they follow. They are kind of like mini cult, right? And they worship Bane, Bull, and Merkel. So these are all kind of evil deities, you know. Oh, hang on, let me look at your roll again. 17, yeah. Okay, so you know that, for example, Bane is he's a greater deity of fear, hatred, and tyranny. Sounds like a fun guy. Merkel is also known as the Lord of Bones or the Lord of the Dead, and he is he's God of the Dead. Originally a mortal man who was a necromancer. And then
Burl?
What's that?
Burl? You explained Bane and Merkel.
Right, yep, so hang on. Gotta spell it.
Not that we know these things unless you're actually saying it out loud, Nightcast.
Because I was about to say is I hope you're briefing us with this.
Yeah, I would be going on like their stuff like Merkel is the Lord of Bones. This is the kind of, you know, what you would expect from his followers, I guess. Same with Bane. Same.
So Baal is the Lord of Murder. He's God of Death who favors murders that come out of violent or ritualistic means. So they're really just a, fun trio of dudes. And so this cult has been, committing murders in their name. And you have seen some kind of like, in your kind of brief stay or travels in the city, you will have seen like the occasional kind of like, like those old like posters kind of glued onto the walls. And it is like, it's 2 skulls and a hand is their symbol. And you've seen kind of this like on walls or maybe like a flyer in the mud in the street, or something like that. So they do seem to be kind of like trying to increase their numbers. So yeah.
Funny. So is the Flaming Fist.
Okay. So as you're kind of walking through the street, yep, you see some other flaming fist, yep, and soon enough you come across Elfsong Tavern. Now this tavern is quite famous in the city, so if you spent any time in the city you would know about it. And the reason that it's famous is because from time to time a disembodied voice of a female elf sings within the tavern. So it's kind of this spirit voice. And you also know that it's kind of like, or maybe you've been there before, maybe you've just heard, but you know that that people, it is kind of tradition to stop speaking when the elf song begins. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's almost like if it was a different time for Baldur's Gate, it would totally be like a tourist stop kind of thing. But at the moment, it's definitely not. So you approach this tavern. It does have kind of a tabard hanging, that's it just depicts like the silhouette of kind of a female elf who is clearly supposed to be singing. So it's very clear that this is the one, even if you haven't been here before. And kind of sitting outside of the tavern, kind of on a stool outside the front door, is another half orc, actually.
Half orc. We looking at a bouncer here?
She does seem to be kind of like, oh, excuse me, not a half orc, a half ogre. She does seem to be like she's
a little difference.
She's stationed, just a small.
Behave so.
She's stationed very clearly by the front door, so it does seem like she's keeping an eye out.
Okay. Is it traditional for us to carry weapons around and have them given or taken at doors?
If you've spent any time in Baldur's Gate, you know it's actually quite wise to take a weapon into a tavern.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. It's very different here than it is in Waterdeep.
I suppose we should probably approach that, eh?
Yeah, Baldur's Gate is like way more rough and tumble than Waterdeep.
Yeah.
This is the Swords Coast for time, right?
So she's kind of picking her teeth with a dagger as you approach. She's sitting on this sitting on this stool slumped against the wall, and she's kind of like just picking at her teeth with the dagger and occasionally kind of spits to the side.
Is she
attractive?
Oh
my goodness. That's the bard's job.
I'm a half orc, and I admire strength. I see a half ogre, I start thinking strength.
Yeah, I mean, if strength is your thing, then yep, she's a good-looking lady.
Okay.
You do see, like, if you're taking her in for a second, you do see propped in the corner behind her is a battle axe.
Okay.
So should I inspire Vallen's character for an attempt?
No, I'm not gonna try and seduce her or something. I mean...
Why not?
It would be so amusing.
He would just move to walk in. Palkas would just move to walk in, and if she doesn't move to stop or talk or anything like that, he would just kind of like do one of those, where he just kind of like gives her a once up and down with the eyes. But if she does stop him,
so she stops, kind of.
Thorn is with you.
She stops.
I don't know. Everyone just kind of wants to walk in like he owns the place.
Okay. As everybody kind of approaches in the various group that you are, she stops picking her teeth for a second and narrows her eyes at you all, and she seems to be kind of inspecting you, like, what have you got? And then she sees on Palkas a nice bright copper badge.
Yeah.
That's like
And he's
flaming
inspecting her.
and she kind of she gets this look on her face, like is slightly of disgust, slightly of
He
like,
moves on at that point.
and she just kind of like pulls back a little bit, and but when she sees the badge, she's not gonna, she doesn't make any attempt to stop you. There's this moment of recognition when she looks at your badge and just
Yep. He's lost interest now.
easy
fast.
come, easy go. Yeah. Okay. So let me take you
In this
over.
day and age, with the rising number of TPKs, one must size up their mate quickly.
Wow. Okay.
Somebody's in the mood for some snoo snoo.
So Everin, as he walks by, will give her a charming smile and then just kind of walk in like he owns the place.
She kind of sneers at you a little bit when you do that. Like, all right, let me move you over to. So we're gonna try a map. And see how it goes. It has
Right.
dynamic lighting enabled.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
we'll
It's going to be
see.
slow to
Close
load.
this with
It'll be
Everin a little
fancy.
bit. You'll
Gotta
hear a
zoom
voice
out.
in his head that says, "Quit."
Oh, you know what? Actually,
It is a complete black rectangle.
Yeah, but hang on. I need to get tokens in there for you, especially if somebody
yeah.
changed their color mid-session. Just
Who
saying.
would do that?
I don't know who would
So
do that.
rude.
Of which,
So yeah, please excuse these blobs of color because while we are sorting out what we look like and everything, we're just going to have blobs. And actually, now I need to assign them to you, don't I?
Yep. Because we still don't see anything until you do.
Yep. Hang on a second.
Blob of color.
I mean, we can use the power of imagination.
That's what we're doing now,
imagination.
dude.
Okay. Oh.
What we see now is what Everin sees after trying to flirt with the half orc.
True story. Hang on. I'm getting there. I have to find your names in the mess of
Of all the other things that you have open.
Yeah. So do you so I'm slowly enabling them, so hopefully these will show up for you momentarily. If this is where I have to try and remember everybody's name.
Palkas, Thorn, Flynn, Coyra, Everin, and Malvola.
What color are you? There you go.
Good timing. So, Palkas walks in, and we walk into the place, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't know what I'm seeing at this point, but Palkas walks in and looks around, and regardless of what Kashcah is going to describe for us, says, "I do not know this place." And looks over at the excuse me, those of elven descent in the party, and says, in a very somewhat slanderous but unintentionally so manner, says, "This might be more for you." Just very, very short-sighted.
Let's look. See if this worked. No, that did not work at all. Alright, screw this. Dynamic lighting crap. It was last like all of 2 seconds.
Aw.
I mean, dynamic lighting is cool, but also very complicated.
Hang on, sorry.
Coyra, maybe this is a place more for you. And so, I think because it's named like,
What the heck?
what was the name of it? Hold on a second. I
Elf
just
Song Tavern. I believe.
Yeah, Elf Song Tavern. Palkas is all like, feeling uncomfortable.
Sorry.
Art is magic, Palkas.
Mm-hmm.
And this is ghost art.
Okay, that's better.
You'll like it.
So now should be able to reveal some of the map here. Oop.
I'm just waiting for the map to update once we figure out the technical difficulties here.
There we go. I should have some of it going now in the bottom kind of left corner.
I have a complete black rectangle still.
Really?
Yep. You on the right layers?
What is your problem, roll 20? Sorry.
It's alright, I'm going to spam the screen with all sorts of weird things.
Okay. That's great.
He is the distraction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another reason.
Hang on. Let me check the page.
Mortlock
settings.
Van Thampur knows our secret about the theft.
Alright. Then maybe it has to be in your character settings.
So I'm curious now, which of us actually has the vial?
That is a good question.
Yeah, you should probably sort that out.
There's 6 of us. Let's go. Looking at how I've got it organized on Roll20, or not. Actually, yeah, we'll use Roll20. We'll go. Taking kashcah off the list there. At the bottom there, we'll go 1 through 6, and then I'll just roll a d6, and we'll see who has it. Oh, crap! Don't do
It's
that.
like a 6. Who's 6?
That would be Nightcaste.
Nightcaste has currently got the vial tucked away on his person somewhere.
Yep, you have somebody's essence in your in a vial in your belongings.
I so wish I could do Mark Hamill at all, because I would so be like,
Drain their essence, yes.
Alright, hang on. Let me. I'm just gonna do.
He
this.
does kind of go a little bit into the Joker for that voice. I noticed that, but still.
it was like a little bit of Starscream, a little bit of this.
Did that change anything for you?
To be fair,
I'm
I'm
still on a
still
black
looking
screen.
that Mark Hamill is the best Joker, so.
I also just realized why you guys couldn't hear me.
Uh-oh. You were
I
muted,
had my
weren't
mic
you?
turned off.
Alright, let me try this. Let me move you back to the map, and then we'll move back to that page. See if that. Turning it off and turning it back on again.
Hey, it
that did
worked.
something.
Yeah? Did that work?
I can see some of the tavern now.
Oh, thank God for that.
Save. Let's
Alright.
close that. Let me zoom in a bit.
This is secretly a cloning facility, isn't it?
How did you guess?
Oh, they all look the same to you, huh?
Well, yeah, of course they do.
Wait, that's her image? Holy crap. I didn't know that she had like thick bushy
Mutton chop.
mutton chops going on there. And one lazy eye.
Hey, hey. Do you want to pick a fight with the half ogre?
I thought he was trying to get it.
I know, right? Suddenly he's changed his tune.
I mean, Everin just very briefly just kind of wandered up and gave her a flirty look and then walked in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you should have control of those colored blobs down at the bottom.
Sure do.
One that corresponds with your color.
I do not see everybody else's name tags, just my own.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
fine.
Same.
Yep.
That's kind of how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the half ogre that yeah. So we have front door here, and as you enter, wow, those tokens look huge for some reason. As you enter, you can see that the tavern is kind of full of patrons.
Mm-hmm.
They're all it's yeah, a variety of folk. within the tavern. So there's humans, halflings. There is a half orc there somewhere, maybe. So yeah, all kinds of. It's a diverse crowd at the Elf Song, and yeah.
Okay.
Inside.
Everin will just stride straight up to the bar. Like, as I said, like I own the place. And try to get the attention of the barkeep.
Okay. So, although that looks like a female, it's actually a guy serving behind the bar. So he is a half elf, and he looks kind of middle-aged for half elves, maybe a little older. So yeah, in a very kind of barkeep style manner, he says, "What can I get for you?"
Well, I'll take one of whatever. I'll just take a mug of whatever you got on tap, and maybe some information.
He says, right. So he grabs a mug and starts, tapping the keg behind him and says, "I can, help with any questions you got. Maybe, I don't know."
I'm looking for a Arena. You know if she's here.
He says, "I think you find her upstairs." He says she's usually up there playing that dice game that they all seem to want to waste their money on.
Dice game. That sounds interesting.
And you do see there are stairs over here.
Yeah. Okay, so it's very obvious and it's perfectly valid for us to just kind of walk up there, by the way, right?
Yeah, it seems to be. You can kind of like hear upstairs, like, there's noise coming from upstairs. There's all kinds of noise going on within the tavern itself. So what you see as well, by the way, so aside from the bar over here, we do have like a fireplace over here, and then these are kind of like, I know I haven't unhidden them yet, but these are kind of like little individual booth kind of bits over there. And then curiously, over by the door here, we have this kind of suit of armor, this hollow suit of armor, kind of standing against the wall.
All right.
Palkas actually sits down at the table closest to the door, looking uncomfortable, looks at those that might have also sat down at the table with him and says, "I've made a mistake. I didn't ask what Tarina looked like, or how we'd find her."
So, Everin will order around for our companion. You guys are drinking whether you want to or not.
I'm kind of hanging out by the door. There's still that other group of that are after what we've got, so I'm kind of keeping an eye out just in case they happen to.
So, mug of ale for my companions each, and Everin puts down a gold piece and slides it over to the barkeep and says, "And for the information as well."
Okay. Yeah, the barkeep will pick up the gold and bites it a little bit, and then chucks it under the counter here with a clink, and continues pouring ale. So yeah, he's as the barkeep's pouring ale, you kind of take in the scene a little bit. There are people kind of around this table over here. they're playing cards. It looks like there are some these folk over here are smoking. They have these rather ornate looking pipes, and they're smoking. But yeah, everybody's just kind of chatter. There's lots of chatter around the place. Oh god.
I assume they're just smoking something regularly and not like I would do bubbles, right?
No bubbles, just
That's- I don't have something in common with them.
I mean, fancy pipes. That is definitely a fancy pipe, but yeah.
So you're saying they're smoking hookahs.
Yeah, not quite a. I mean, it is like a very kind of curved pipe that they've got.
Oh, okay.
So not a hookah, but
Right. So I will, once the barkeep is done, we'll just hand out those mugs of ale to all party members. Seems somebody has joined me at the bar.
I can't tell which green dot it is.
One of the green dots.
yeah, sorry. So that's Thorn next to you.
All right. Palkas says, "Do any of you know Tarina?" And looks at each person. Maybe Everin will find out. Thank you. And Palkas takes the ale and starts drinking it. But drinks it rather slowly, just like a small sip, and then sets it down.
So Everin takes a sip from his mug and goes, "Okay, well, I may as well go and see what I can find out." He kind of meanders his way over to the stairs.
Okay. Yeah. So it's wooden flight of stairs going up, and I take it you're going up, or
Yes, I'd like to go up the stairs.
okay.
I'm gonna get up and go with him just because I don't think we should travel alone anymore.
Yes, well, that was kind of the assumption that someone was going to
Yeah,
follow the stairs.
I was gonna say the same as I feel like traveling in a group is always slightly better than just going alone.
I mean, I don't want the entire group coming up.
I know, but if
Yeah,
it's
it would-
3-3, it might be fine.
Yeah, 3 people are going up there is fine.
Look at this. First adventure,
I'm
and we're
gonna
splitting the party. Aren't you
pretend
proud of
to
us, guys?
drink it and keep an eye out, see if anybody's paying any extra attention to the group.
I also left my mug on the table as I don't really drink, so I'm also hoping it's not obvious.
That's right. No, Palkas is used to this.
And everyone doesn't care, and he bought around for the party anyways because he doesn't care.
Needless to say, when you get back, your mug will be empty because obviously you
That's
drank
fine.
it while you were gone.
So, and actually, Everin, as you're kind of like you're just about to take your first step up the stair, and the elf song, the whole tavern kind of goes quiet because this lovely, absolutely beautiful voice from as far as you can tell, an elven woman starts singing and she I actually have a handout for
It's on the ground floor.
what's that?
This is the ground floor, or is this upstairs?
It's kind of it's probably coming slightly more from the ground floor, but it kind of like just echoes around the whole place.
Okay.
So
Oh, I remember this place.
Oh boy.
there you go. So this is what she sings, and no, I'm not going to sing it. I will spare you that.
Aw.
Aw,
spare
I
you
was
that.
looking forward to that.
No.
Does Everin know the words to this song?
Wait, hang on. Everin, your background.
My background is Urchin from Baldur's Gate.
Bard.
Okay. Yes, you do know the words to this song, and it surprises you, and clearly surprises some other folks around there as well, around the tavern, because at one point the instead of singing of her usual song of a long lost lover, the song is about Elturel instead. So this is not like the melody is the same, but the lyrics are not what the usual song is.
So, and this is just kind of emanating from the main floor somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, the way I understand it, it's like it's coming right out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Shall
I
I
mean,
read
there's
it?
a reason why the Elf Song Tavern is kind of famous.
Shall I read it aloud?
If you like.
I'm
Sure.
not going to sing it, obviously.
Aww.
I mean, you could.
Thank God. I mean,
Oh, sing a song of Elturel, of water, woods, and hill. The sun dawns on her ruddy cliffs, and fields green and still. This land of long abiding joy, home of the strong and brave, renowned by all across the realms and never once a slave. Oh, sing a song of Elturel when foes are at her door, her fields torn by cloven feet from some infernal shore. Arise, the mighty hell riders, take up your swift, keen swords, then charge into the hellish fray and scatter devil hordes. Oh, sing a song of Elturel, and when the night does fall, sleep safe beneath companions' light until the dawn does call. We're bound by mortal covenant that only ends with death, and so we'll sing of Elturel until our final breath. How very foreboding.
Tis a sad song.
Ghost, I think you're muted.
So Everin's going to take that as a warning and cautiously head up the stairs.
Okay.
Palkas
Anybody
gets a
else wanna
foreboding feeling.
do anything about this song? Or, so the three of you are heading up. Well, anybody else doing anything differently? I should ask.
When the song ends, I'll applaud. And then I want to have a look at that suit of armor.
Okay. All right. So let's do the suit of armor first, because that's.
Palkas drinks ale.
So you're just kind of walking up to it, and can you describe like?
Is the visor down or is it raised?
No, it is down, but it does have kind of this. Has that Y-shaped kind of opening in it.
I'm going to knock on the visor and say, hello? Hello?
So it kind of echoes within, and when you knock on it, the hand raises and kind of like bats away your hand, and then it kind of shifts like on its feet, and kind of, if it had eyes, you swear it would be looking like right at you.
Just because this is too good of an opportunity to pass up, Thorn will hear a voice in his head. What do you want, Gold? Ghostwise halfling. And they wouldn't necessarily know that I can do that.
Palkas does a little bit of a spit take. Seeing the suit of armor move that he thought was empty. Or potentially could have been.
So what did you say?
He'll hear in his head,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want? Go away.
What do you want? Go away.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. I'll pat it on the shoulder and say, as you wish, friend. But then I go and sit down again.
Okay. The suit of armor kind of shifts on its feet again, and then very noisily kind of walks over here, and you all notice, all three of you notice, as it walks past you, kind of like to keep going
Palkas is
one
keeping a close eye on it.
more. That taped to its back, well, not taped, but you get the picture, right? Glued to its back is a sign, a paper sign, that somebody has scrawled hurriedly, and it says "Clank" on it.
Oh dear.
So he.
See, we have an enchanted suit of armor with clank taped to its back. Oh dear.
So the armor kind of settles back in against the wall over here, and kind of like turns and looks at your table for a while in a very kind of unnerving way.
Palkas.
When it does that, I'm going to add Root Elf to what Thorn hears in his head.
So, did Everin spot the piece of paper from where he's standing?
I don't think so, actually, because here, I'll use this thingy. The suit of armor was walking in this direction, right? So its back would have been actually like the other.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on its
Well,
back,
I
and
wouldn't have
you're
known there was
face
paper
to
there.
face with.
Yeah, plus you're kind of facing the stairs for the most part. So this is
Palkas
kind of...
leans in towards Thorn and says, very like hush hush under his breath, "Let's try not to get into any fights while we're here."
Says the half orc.
Okay, so
Profiling.
seriously. Okay. So Everin, Coyra, and Malvola, you exit. These are the top of the stairs over here where I'm pinging. So you exit the top of the stairs and see before you is kind of this. It almost looks like a dining room, the way that these tables are set up with like these just kind of stools around them, and there are lanterns hanging from the rafters because there aren't any windows in this room actually, and the lanterns are lit. Rugs covering the wooden floor, and you can hear kind of the hubbub from below. But yeah, there are a fair few folks sitting around these tables. These folks here seem to be playing with dice. They have a dice game going on. There's some money on the table. There's these kind of three poker faces, sitting around the table. They look like they're trying to call each other's bluff.
3 3s, 4 4s. Yahtzee.
So they're playing a dice game and they're bluffing at each other.
As far as you can see, yeah.
All right. And is there anyone in this room who could potentially be this Tarina we're looking for?
Yeah, sure.
Dice players.
Well, we've got over here is a half elf, or sorry, excuse me, a halfling. This person is a halfling. This person here is a half orc. Boop.
I think we're not on that page. You didn't drag us over, I think.
Oh, you can't go. Okay. Let me just...
Yeah, they're still on the ground floor.
Yeah, I just figured you could do it. But...
Oh, no,
We can do it ourselves.
Never mind.
I don't know what order you're in, but...
I was way in, that's why.
Okay. Alright, so, hang on. Let me go back to my list of folks. So we've got human here. There's another halfling over here. Another human here. The half orc we already talked about. And what is? This is a human over here. And the last person is human as well.
Okay. All right. So, does it look like there's room at the table for more gamblers?
Yeah. There's still open seats at the table for sure.
You would probably be fully aware that Palkas is a gambler, specifically of dice.
Yes, but Palkas didn't join us up here, did he?
No. I'm just letting you know.
Well, you're the one who knew that there was a dice game going on, and
Yes, but I didn't mention that there was a dice game going on. I just kind of wandered up the stairs. That's the best part about this. So everyone's going to kind of wander over and look around the room. You said there was there any human females in the room? Or any humanoid females in the room?
Let me go back. See. Actually it does not give gender on here.
How lovely.
We're gonna say this halfling is female. This halfling is male. We can say this half orc is male. This human is female. This human is male. This human is male. And this human is female. There you go.
Okay, so everyone's going to wander over to a table, give the human female that he settles next to a flirty look, and ask to be included in the gambling.
she has a fantastic mustache.
Kind of jealous of that mustache.
So she says, she kind of looks you, like, kind of just does a quick scan of you, and says, you sure you can, you sure you've got the coin to back that up there?
Everyone just quietly takes a gold out and places it on the table.
So you see that, yeah, there's in the pot is a mixture of coin, actually, between silver, and there's a couple of gold in there, mostly silver. So she says, well then, have you played Baldur's Bones before? She asks. She kind of like...
So, Everin, as a character, because he is a urchin, probably would have played it before, but he's going to say no.
Okay. Make a deception check. Okay.
Okay.
You deceived yourself.
All right. So what? Okay. So you know Baldur's Bones is you roll 3 dice, and I'm assuming they're d6. Doesn't actually say. So on your turn, you can choose to stand or roll. It's like blackjack, but with dice.
Blackjack with dice, gotcha.
Yep. So if you exceed 21, then you're bust. Otherwise, yeah, everyone goes around and antes up. basically. So you're putting a gold in?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, go on.
while this is happening, Coyra moves in a little bit closer just to observe a little bit what's going on the table itself.
Okay. Yeah, you see Everin's just put some gold down to participate in this dice game. How about Malvola? What are you doing?
I'm watching the stream and I keep on the roll 20. Why is it not working? Lean against the wall here, addressing the woman here. I'm not like marching right up to her kind of thing. It's mostly just watching the game, but to her I will mention, I'm looking for a woman named Tarina. Do you know who can you point me in the right direction?
Okay. So she says to you, Malvola, well, your friend seems to have found her. She's saying kind of quietly.
All right. Well, thank you.
Oh
And
boy.
Pretty much just keep sipping at my beer and watching Everin lose.
So I'm going to, because this is something that everyone would do, is I'm going to try and cheat.
Jesus.
Okay.
Let's see, we were told to do one thing. Don't piss her off. Perfect.
How are you?
Right, because remember, I've convinced them that I don't know the game.
Yes, this is true.
We don't know him.
So are you?
We're not with him if he pisses you off.
I mean, half of you aren't really.
So
How
I
can you cheat
suppose
on a
that'd be
dice
like
game?
sleight of hand check, right?
Well,
Or
I
would
mean,
it be performance? Because I could make a performance roll on that too.
how are you going to try and cheat? Is this like you're trying
I'm
to?
going to trick roll the dice, basically.
Do you have proficiency with dice?
Okay.
It's actually an artisan's tool of sorts.
Kidding, it is.
Yes,
There actually
I
is a
have
Tool
proficiency.
proficiency for dice.
I have a proficiency for dice with my character.
Oh my
so.
goodness, I didn't even realize. Unfortunately, as an urchin, I don't get that option.
And I imagine it would be like a sleight of hand for something like that.
Yep, I would agree with that.
And I will make a sleight of hand roll and hope I don't roll a 1.
You rolled a
Oh,
1,
I didn't badly,
and you get a
actually.
17.
Okay. So you're trying to basically make it look like you're rolling the dice, but actually you're not. You're trying to just land it on this number.
Yes.
So you're rolling 3 dice. So this is actually a really tricky thing to do unless you're going to roll them one at a time. Are you going to roll them one at a time? Or?
That would be very obvious. Can I make a performance check to make it look less obvious?
That's your sleight of hand check, right? This is like,
yeah,
kind of all one action there.
Okay. So I'll do the I'll give the dice one at a time and hope nobody notices.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and roll. Roll 3d6 and so one of them are you trying to like land the third one based on what the first 2 are, or how are you working this?
You said I'm just trying to make it make the dice roll in my favor here.
Okay.
So I'll roll 3d6 and just go with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've rolled 3d6.
Okay, so you've got 10. So the person sitting next to you, the lady sitting next to you, also rolls. Okay. And then the gentleman at the end of the table, and the other gentleman. Okay. So they kind of look at you, you know, to see if you're increasing the pot or if you're gonna stand or roll or. And is that your desired kind of? Is 10 kind of a desired outcome for you, or you want to change one of those?
Still 21, right?
Yeah, 21.
I would go for another roll at this.
Okay.
And this is where the sleight of hand starts coming in.
Yep. Okie doke.
I want to not bust here.
Okay.
Do I have to ante in again?
I mean, you don't have to. No.
Then I'm just going to go for another roll from there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the pot is 4 gold at the moment.
So let's roll 3, 6. And I'm going to use my sleight of hand to try and change anything that would make me go over 21.
Okay. Sure.
Which apparently I didn't, so I won't worry.
Okay. Alright. So the lady sitting next to you is going to roll again as well. Okay. And then the gentleman and the half-orc. Okay. So they're yeah, they kind of look to you one more time to see if you're going to roll again or.
What? I have an 18. I'd have to roll all ones.
Are you gonna try or are you gonna stand?
I'm going to use sleight of hand to make me roll all ones.
Okay. Let me see. Perception check.
Will they notice me cheating?
Right. That person does not. The half-orc does not. So then last person. No, you seem to have gotten away with it.
Hey. I guess it's beginner's luck, right?
Forget the proficiency, you're fine.
Who needs proficiency?
So they say, not so fast. They say you weren't the only one to hit 21. So they're suggesting that that the winnings should be shared.
So Everin just kind of looks around and goes, with a roll like that.
Who was the other person that rolled 20?
The half
Two others did.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep. So actually the half
And
orc
they got them
did.
2 rolls rather than 3.
So how about we split the win?
They say that is what we just said.
I mean, I'm looking at this is a half orc. I'm not gonna pick a fight with that.
Okay, so they split the winnings, and they're kind of looking at you a little bit like slightly suspiciously.
You chose wisely.
So they push your gold back to you basically, and
So I get my gold back.
mm-hmm.
All right. Suppose I should mention why we're here. I don't suppose anybody here knows of a Tarina.
The half orc kind of like gets a bit of a smirk on his face, and the human opposite kind of their eyes dart straight to this person, and this person says, "Who's asking?"
Everin just kind of quietly reaches into his pocket and just kind of tries to show just her the badge.
Okay, yeah, you could kind of do that like slightly under the table, you know, kind of blocking the half orc's view with your body. Probably, you could show.
Yeah.
And she's like, she looks at you and says, "I've heard they're giving those away these days."
Well,
I can't help but snicker at that.
I've got 4.
From the people I killed this morning.
Well,
just kept reporting to different
we're
captains.
sent to ask for some ask a few questions. So.
She kind of leans back like on the stool, you know, and she's kind of like just looking at you, saying, "You want to ask Tarina some questions?" She's kind of, I don't know. Seems to be like very closed mouth. Like she doesn't want to give any information.
Yeah. Zod just sent us.
Make a perception check.
Perception. Oof.
Okay. So
Pardon me.
Cool looking rock.
so
Ooh, there's a table here.
there is I just got my gold back. She says, "So what questions?"
Well, suppose you would happen to know where any of these cultists are about. I hear they're causing a bit of a ruckus.
She kind of like laughs a little under her breath, and says, "How would I know about such a thing?" She says, "Who are you anyway? Aside from somebody with one of these dime store badges."
Well, suppose I haven't introduced myself. You can call me Justin. just in time.
Wow. 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 I think you failed a real life roll on that one. Because you got 2 face palms out of the group.
She just kind of she looks at you and then looks at the person sitting opposite her and then looks back at you again and then looks down at the half orc. It's just kind of like she says, I think I need another drink, and gets up to leave the table. So she kind of pushes back her stool and stands up.
Palkas groans from downstairs.
It's better than the other name I was going to go with. The other name I was going to go with was Ozzy Osbourne.
But that's a pun name even in Faerun. So she pushes back her stool and stands up. And then she's kind of gonna proceed with walking away. Okay.
Ever's going to just take a sip from his mug and just kind of slowly stand up from the table as well. I guess I struck out on that one.
Yeah, think.
At least didn't piss her off.
The look on her face when she was looking at her companions was like, is this guy for real? Like, just like, did he really just say that kind of thing?
Everyone knows the name Justin is outlawed.
So she heads downstairs and does kind of head towards the bar.
While all that was going on,
she's
Palkas is probably talking. Actually, hold on, I gotta scroll back to the other bar area. Talking with the other members at the table, saying, Do you think maybe she's part of Flaming Fist? We can see if she has a badge. And Palkas just kind of stands up and just starts looking intently at each person, looking to see if they have a badge on. And if he can't see, he doesn't do anything. He just kind of...
He's just squinting around the room, huh?
Yeah, just looking. And on occasion, looks back over at the people at his table and says, this is why I don't like these places. People stare at you weird. And
That's exactly what you're doing.
Exactly. He's a little bit oblivious.
Yeah, people are getting kind of uncomfortable with how much you're staring at them. Like
does he see any other Flaming Fist badges though?
At this point, I'm kind of reconsidering my decision not to drink the ale.
You don't see any other Flaming Fist folk. No.
Okay. Palkas sits back down and says, I don't see any. Do you have any ideas how we can find her? There are 2 other people at the table, right?
One is currently pretending he doesn't know you. No. Everin found out that she was upstairs from the bartender.
Oh.
I missed that whole part. Is that what he found out, or since he didn't really share anything with
Everin kind of muttered something about them possibly being upstairs, but didn't mention anything about anything else from going on upstairs. Went to investigate.
In that case, my response to Palkas' question is maybe they'll find her upstairs. Though I'm not sure that's a good thing.
We shouldn't leave her alone with Everin.
Nobody should be left alone with Everin.
I'm glad Coyra is up there. She'll keep things under control.
So at that moment, this person this is like a little kind of couch that they're sprawled out on, and they passed out basically on this couch. At that moment, they roll off the couch onto the floor, like falling out of bed style, and this whole group over here just erupts into laughter as they like kind of stagger, like the person is like clearly just completely drunk and just like kind of staggers up to their feet and kind of like looks around the room like very drunkenly, and then kind of like almost falls back down onto the couch again.
Palkas says, I think we're wasting time finding murderers. He then stands up again, looks at the armor set that is just like basically right next to him, and he says, "You there?" Hold on, I gotta look up her name again. Doggone it. Oh, what was it? Tamarin?
Irina.
Tarina?
Tarina.
Says, "You there? Where is Tarina? Can you point her out?"
Oh.
And he's talking to the suit of armor.
Yeah. And you hadn't really noticed in amongst all the laughter and everything, but the suit of armor just points up at the stairs as this human woman is coming down the stairs. Just kind of like she's got this look on her face like, I just can't even, And
She must have met Everin.
and she's just kind of coming down the stairs, and the suit of armor just points at her.
So should we have Everin following her down the stairs? Oh, don't be like that.
Palkas then just
sure.
kind of gives a nod to the suit of armor and says, "Thank you, my friend." And he just kind of like gets a close look at the armor, because I'm sure it's probably
Toss a
looking
coin
a little
inside.
bit.
Make a wish.
Is it look like there's somebody's wearing full plate, or does it look like it could potentially be an empty suit of armor?
Let me see. Is there a? Oh, there is a handout here. Hang on. I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay, because the way you described it, it sounds just like a walking piece of armor.
There you go. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Actually, an animated armor. How nice.
And isn't that great that it says that on the handouts, what it exactly is?
Yep.
So helpful.
Anyway, he says, "Thank you, my friend," and then just realizes there is nobody in it, and just kind of,
Double taking? Are you having a double take?
It's a very slow double take for him.
Okay.
And where's her name? Tarina. All right. Palkas says, "There she is there. Tarina, we have business with you. Would you speak with us?" And he says it quite loudly. I'm not going to actually do that on the microphone.
There goes
He says it quite loudly into the
And
tavern,
there's another face palm.
because she's probably about like 15 feet away, something like that.
Are we counting face palms now?
She says, under her breath, "Not another one." A big sigh, and she literally like puts up a finger to you, Palkas, and it's like just doesn't even make eye contact. Puts up a finger and is like makes her way over to the bar. It's just not even saying, she's still got her finger like, and she looks at the barkeep and like looks at her empty mug, and he takes it from her, fills it, and Let me know if you're doing anything. Right?
Yes, actually, Palkas at seeing this would turn
She's like,
to
"Oh,
Thorn and say, "You see, I have no talent for these things. You talk." And he sits down and continues sipping on his own ale because Coyra's ale is empty.
Okay. So,
I think you're doing just fine, friend. Clearly, you've been enjoying the company of our bar.
so she heads back towards the stairs, Everin, as you're kind of descending the stairs, and she points at you and goes, "Get back up there." And then she Palkas, she looks over to you and like is looking to make eye contact with you finally.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's watching her.
she just kind of like goes with her finger.
I think that would be us. And Palkas gets up and motions to the other two. Let's go.
And she'll make her way kind of back upstairs, Everin, like kind of like encouraging you to, go back upstairs and wait for kind of the others to arrive.
All right.
I'll follow, but I'm hanging out near the top of the steps, listening, but keeping an eye on what might be coming up.
Okay.
Oops, I forgot to bring my token. 1 second.
Alright. So she kind of encourages folks to have a seat at the table, and this half orc kind of will come over here instead, and so she kind of like basically these folks are gonna go play dice over there. Yeah. So she kind of encourages you to sit down. She says, "Okay, obviously, you've got some business that you need to take care of. So how can I help you?"
So Everin is going to kind of lean in and just. So I'm sorry for that display. The had to put on a bit of a show for everybody else present.
She just kind of sighs.
Palkas says, "We need to know how to identify the cultists so that we may kill them."
Yes, we've been given a mission by the captain that to slay some. I believe the comment was evil cultists who are murdering people. We were told that you have some information regarding how to identify them.
She says, "Well, I have a good idea of where they're hanging out." She says, "And as far as identifying them, isn't that obvious?" She says, "The 2 skulls and the handprint, She says, that's their symbol."
Yeah.
Yes, but will they have this on their face? Do they look different? Are they of a certain race? Do they carry weapons or cast special spells that might help identify them if in a split moment? I don't like being jumped.
Ooh,
Bless you.
bless you.
There's
So,
no need to worry, friend Palkas. I'm the one that's here to be jumped.
He just gives you a curious look. Like, huh?
Don't want to know.
Stabby.
I mean, if it's stabbing you want, Everin just kind of quietly takes out his knife, his pocket knife, and starts playing with it a bit. That can surely be arranged.
Tarina looks kind of between Everin and Thorn, and is like, perhaps I should step back? What, is there some unfinished business between the two of you? She says, "I thought we were talking about cultists." She says, She says the dead three, she says they're worshippers, and she's just kind of getting into like a bit of a description of kind of, you think she's finally going to give you the info that you want, when there is a massive ruckus from downstairs. It sounds like that
Somebody fell off a couch.
sounds like that suit of armor just exploded. Like, there's metal, like you hear metal kind of on metal armor, like there's just all kinds of like
Palkas
loud noises.
jumps to like a start, maul in hand, like ready for action type thing, but holds himself back, waiting to see if there's something going to burst up the stairway.
So Everin looks across the table at Palkas and goes, that wasn't you this time, was it?
Palkas is just dead silent.
And Tarina jumps from her seat like she's made of springs, you know. She just kind of jumps into action, and she kind of looks over at this other table over here. You can't really quite tell who she's looking at particularly, but you probably Everin and Thorn, you hear her say under her breath, "They're here."
And on my rapier.
And I think that is where we will leave it. Maybe a
Oh no.
I was more playing on like
smallish
Palkas
cliffhanger.
PTSD, but I was expecting to
Get
just be
into
like,
our first combat, perhaps, or maybe not. Who knows?
Like-
But I think we've we should leave it here for tonight.
all right.
Alrighty.
And that being episode kind of 0/1, because we did a little bit more of building the group and then following it up with a little bit of getting the adventure going. So thank you, viewers, for coming out. Thank you, players, for showing up and playing. And thank you,
You're
Kashcah,
welcome.
for being our dungeon master.
Yeah, thank you all.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. And we'll see you all next time, folks. Which should be next Saturday. 8 p.m. UK time is our standard thing that we're shooting for. So hopefully everything will keep going with that.
Yeah.
Till then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye.